A very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss about the new chapter atom. So what is the structure of atom? Based on that there are two theories. One is Rutherford atomic model and another one is Bohr atomic model. So based on these two things usually the questions will come. So those questions we need to understand now. So what type of questions will come and what are the equations are there based on that. So we need to remember all those things. Now the very first thing is Rutherford alpha scattering experiment. The first one is Rutherford alpha scattering experiment, where what he has done is he has taken one gold foil. So he has taken one gold foil. Foil means it's like a sheet. And he sent alpha particles towards it. So he sent a beam of alpha particles towards it. And when he sent alpha particles towards the gold foil, what he observed is they got deflected. Some got deflected like this. Some got deflected like this. And some got reflected back. So they got deviated from their path. And here one thing what he observed is few they just reach up to some minimum distance and then they turned back. And remaining they just deflected in this manner. So from this what he concluded is when the alpha particle is moving such that here in the gold foil there is a gold atom. When you consider if this is coming towards the center of the gold nucleus, then this happens, that is it will reflect back. That means here the alpha particle got reflected due to the central positive nucleus. So what he concluded is if it is coming other than this line, then it is getting reflected or deviating at some angle. But when it is coming exactly towards center, he concluded that is this reflection shows that here within the atom the central portion is completely of positive charge. That's why due to electrostatic repulsion the positive alpha particle means helium, but not helium 2 plus. If you remove 2 electrons from helium, that is called alpha particle. So it is positive charge and every nucleus is of positive charge, so that positive will repulse, so it will reach some minimum distance and it will come back. And he said that here suppose you have given some kinetic energy to the alpha particle half mv square, either K or E, then this kinetic energy will convert into potential energy at this distance. So that here velocity becomes 0 and this distance we call it as distance of closest approach. So the question can come based on this equation. That means the kinetic energy equal to potential energy at this distance means 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 alpha particle charge is 2e. Gold nucleus is Ze by R square or R naught square. By R naught. So the R naught value is 2Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught E. This is the formula for distance of closest approach. And this is possible when alpha particle is sent in a direction such that it is exactly going towards the center of one of the gold atom. There are so many gold atoms. But suppose there is a gold foil means there are so many atoms, and if you observe, he said that most of the alpha particles pass through between two atoms, the gaps, small gaps. So that most of the atoms or alpha particles got D, means they went through the foil without any deflection. But few got deflected at different angles. And here he gave one more formula that the number of alpha particles got deflected at an angle is directly proportional to 1 by sine power 4 of theta by 2. Sine power 4 theta by 2. This is the formula for number of alpha particles that got deflected at an angle theta. So they may ask question like, what is the comparison like? If n1 is the number of particles got deviated at an angle theta 1, n2 is number of alpha particles got deviated at an angle theta 2, then they may ask you to find the ratio of n1 and n2. So such kind of question also they can ask. So these are the two questions usually they can ask based on Rutherford alpha scattering. And in this alpha scattering experiment, finally what is the conclusion he has given is mainly as alpha particle is getting deviated when it is approaching a central line, then he concluded that inside the atom, so inside the atom at central portion the maximum positive charge will be located. That is called nucleus, he said. So there is a central portion of completely positive charge which we call it as nucleus. That is what he concluded. And he said the electrons are revolving around it, but he did not mention exact what is the path or orbit of the electron. And for that, Bohr has given another theory that for an atom, so what Bohr said that if you consider an atom, so this is positive nucleus around which the electrons revolve around it in circular orbits called K, L, M, N, O, so on. So in these orbitals, the electron like n equal to 1, orbital number 2, 3. So in circular orbitals, the electrons revolve around it, around the positive nucleus. Such that if you consider nth orbit electron, whose radius is Rn, velocity is Vn, then as it is moving in the circular path, the required centripetal force will be provided due to the electrostatic force, that is here Ze and here E, so here the equation will become 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze into E by Rn square. So this is the electrostatic force. Now this is the electrostatic force between electron and positive nucleus. So this is the one which provides the required centripetal force. And also he said as it is moving in a circular path, any particle of mass m, if moving in a circular path, then its angular momentum is mvr. So that angular momentum mvr is equal to, he said, nh by 2 pi. Suppose third orbital means n equal to 3, second orbital means n equal to 2, so on like that. So this is the other statement he has given. That means angular momentum of electron in the atom is quantized. So quantization means we can write as multiple of some base value. Here the base value is h by 2 pi. And he also said that these are called energy levels like E1, E2, E3, so on. So low level, this we call it as ground energy level or ground level. Then this we call it as first excited, second excited, so on. So when electron takes transition from one higher level to lower level, what he concluded is the difference in the higher energy level and lower energy level will be emitting from the atom in the form of photon, that is h nu or hc by lambda. In dual nature of radiation we have studied. So the photon energy emits, so the photon energy formula h nu, and that photon energy is equal to the energy difference between the two energy levels between which electron is taking transition. Now here, based on these two equations, we derive the equations for nth orbit, radius, velocity and time period, so on. So if you use those equations, then the radius equation you will get it as n square h square epsilon naught by pi m e square z, where Rn, if you consider h constant, epsilon naught pi m e, so n square by z, and this constant value everything if you calculate, and that comes out to be 0.53 angstroms approximately, so n square by z. So they are asking what is the radius of suppose particular atom, then you have to substitute z value and n value, which orbit they are asking. But here you need to remember one thing, that here we considered the electrostatic attraction between the nucleus and only one electron. So we have made the equation for only one electron, that's why Bohr model is applicable to only one electron system. That means hydrogen or helium plus or lithium 2 plus. Helium plus means there were 2 electrons, 1 you remove, so 1 will remain. Here 3 electrons, you remove 2, so 1 will remain. So for hydrogen or hydrogen like atoms only you can apply this. So for any such atom, when they are asking for any such orbital, then use this general formula. Similarly, when velocity Vn, if you consider Ze square by 2nh epsilon naught, or Vn is proportional to Z by n, where here this is one constant. So that here Vn is approximately c by 137, where c is speed of light into Z by n. Or it will come around approximately 2.16 into 10 power 6 approximately, or you can take 2 into 10 power 6 approximately. So this is the speed of nth orbit electron. Now this is radius, this is speed. Then you can find kinetic energy Kn, that is 8n square h square epsilon naught square by pi m e square z. And you can find potential energy, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r, where r equation is there, and q1 is ze, q2 is e. Then we will get minus 4 n square h square epsilon naught square by just 1 minute, I will just tell you. See, kinetic energy Kn equal to half m Vn square. So half m Vn square means this one, z square e power 4 by 4 h square epsilon naught square n square. That means here m z square e power 4 by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. So this is kinetic energy, and potential energy if you take minus m z square e power 4 by 4 n square h square epsilon naught square. So these are the kinetic energy and potential energy. But usually they will ask question based on the total energy, that is total energy of nth orbit electron equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. If you add both of them, here what will come is minus mz square e power 4 by 8n square h square epsilon naught square, where minus z square by n square if you take, remaining everything is constant, m e h epsilon naught. And that value if you calculate, that will come 13.6 electron volt into z square by n square. So you can find the energy of any orbit electron of any atom. Just you have to substitute z value and n value. Suppose lithium plus plus of fourth orbit. So n equal to 4, z equal to 3. Like that you can find, if you have to remember the general formula for radius, speed and energy, then you can find for any atom. And suppose they asked for time period. So if they ask time period, then time period t equal to 2 pi Rn by Vn. So Tn is proportional to Rn by Vn. So here Rn is n square by z into Vn is z by n. So Tn is proportional to n will go up. So n cube by z square. So they can ask you the question based on time period of nth orbit electron also. Comparison also they can ask between two orbitals. Now after this, the other question what they can ask apart from these derivations, like what is the radius, what is the velocity, what is the energy, what is the time period. Apart from that, they will ask you the question based on, see, the question they can ask about particularly hydrogen atom, where equations remain same but z equal to 1. So for z equal to 1 case, so the ground state energy is minus 13.6 electron volt. Then for the second one, E2, that is minus 13.6 by 2 square, because En means what is the equation we have seen, minus 13.6 z square by n square, z equal to 1. So n equal to, this is n equal to 1, this is n equal to 2, so on. So you need to take different energy levels. Like that, E2 divided by 4 minus 3.4 electron volt. Next, n equal to 3, that is E3 9. So 9 means minus 1.85 electron volt approximately. So like E4, E5, so on. Now the third postulate says that when electron takes transition from higher level to lower level, then what happens? Then there is some energy emits in the form of photon. So like here, let's take the transition taking place from higher level to lower level. So that they divided in this category, like if the transition is taking place to ground state from any high level, like this, like this, like this. These all corresponding photons have particular wavelength range, and that wavelength range lies in UV light. UV, visible or electromagnetic waves will be there. So this wavelength lies in the range of UV, and that we call it as Lyman series. Now if the transition is taking place to first excited state from any higher level, so here N1 is 1, here N1 is 2, then these are called Balmer series, and this will lie in visible light. Then next, the transition to third orbital or second excited state, that is called Lyman Balmer Paschen. This is Paschen series, and where N1 equal to 3, next N1 equal to 4, means they should come to fourth level or third excited state. This is bracket series, and if they are coming to fifth from higher level, then we call it as Fund series. So the transition can take place from higher level, that is 2, 3 to infinity to 1. This is Lyman series. Or from 3, 4, 5 till infinity to 2. This is Balmer series. Or 4, 5, 6, 1 up to infinity to 3, third level. This is Paschen series. And from 5, 6, 7 up to infinity to, that is 4. This is called bracket series. And from 6, 7, 8 so on infinity to 5th, this is Fund series. Now here what they will ask question based on this is, see, for every series there is one maximum wavelength possible. Maximum wavelength means N2 minimum. Like for Lyman series, N2 2 to 1 means maximum, and n2 infinity to 1 means minimum wavelength. Like for every series, there is a minimum wavelength, maximum wavelength. Maximum wavelength means n2 is minimum. Suppose this Paschen series you take. n1 is 3 fixed. n2 will start from 4, 5, 6, so on up to infinity. Now for n2 equal to 4, this is maximum wavelength. For n2 equal to infinity, minimum wavelength. So they can ask what is the wavelength of any particular series of any particular transition between any two energy levels. Then what is the formula we need to understand? That generalized formula. That is, what is the general formula here is, see here, this is the last thing usually they will ask. What is the general formula here is, the energy transition En2 to En1 means En2 minus En1. This is the photon energy equal to general En formula what we have seen, me square me power 4 z square by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. Now here n2 means n2, n1 means n1, remaining everything is same. So if you do this one, then me power 4 z square by 8 h square epsilon naught square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So this is the photon energy formula where they can ask photon energy, but most of the time they will ask wavelength, that is hc by lambda. We will write this one. So that 1 by lambda means hc will go other side, that is me power 4 by 8. hc will go this side means h cube c into epsilon naught square into z square into 1 by n1 square by 1 by n2 square. Now here this term is constant, this we call it as Rydberg constant, and whose value is 1.097 into 10 power 7 per meter, and 1 by R value is approximately 915 angstroms. So using this equation where 1 by lambda equal to, this is R into z square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So this is the wavelength of any particular transition for any particular series, but usually they ask for hydrogen atom z equal to 1. If they ask for any other atom, z value you have to substitute. So this way the questions can be asked based on any series, based on maximum or minimum wavelength. Maximum wavelength means, suppose one example I will tell you, Paschen series they said, or Balmer series maximum wavelength. So first Balmer series, that means n1 is 2 fixed, n2 can be 3, 4 up to infinity. So maximum wavelength means n2 minimum 3, and minimum wavelength means n2 maximum, that is infinity. So this way we need to understand. So they can ask anything like that, you can solve questions. So this is how the questions will come based on atoms. And sometimes if there are electron is in nth orbital, then number of transitions possible are n into n minus 1 by 2. Just I will show you one simple example. Suppose this is n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it is in n equal to 4th state. So if the electron is here, how many transitions it can take, possible transitions? That is a formula like n into n minus 1 by 2. So 4 into 4 minus 1 by 2, 2 2s are. So 2 3s are 6. That they will ask in the question as number of spectral lines possible. That means here, from here it can come to first, or it can go to second, or it can go to third. 3 gone. Now it can come here and it can go here, or it can come here and it can go here, or it can come here and it can come here and then here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or in another way you can take like this. 4 are there. Now first take the possibility of Lyman series. Then take the possibility of Balmer. Next, Paschen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the number of spectral lines possible. So this is how the questions will come. Now we would like to see some questions based on whatever we have discussed, so that you will get idea like what kind of questions they will ask you. So let's see and let us try to understand. See here, what is impact parameter is, see when you consider the gold foil, in that if you consider the one of the gold atom, so one central line will be there which is passing through the center. Now if alpha particle is sent along this line, it will reflect back such that the deviation is 180 degrees. Suppose you are sending in a line, we send in random directions such that if it is moving in a particular direction, such that it is at some perpendicular distance from the central line, this perpendicular distance is called impact parameter. Because this is lesser means the deviation will be more, like this. So here the impact parameter B formula is given by Z E square cot theta by 2 by 4 pi epsilon naught E. That is, here this formula you need to remember, where theta is scattering angle. That means suppose it is going like this, so it will get scattered, means deviated through an angle theta. That theta they mentioned here as alpha. Now this parameter should become 0. That means it should pass along the central line. That means cot theta by 2 should become 0. That means theta by 2 should become 90, theta equal to 180. So what is the answer? The scattering angle should be 180. When directly also from this explanation you can say 180 degrees means it should pass along the central line. That means impact parameter is 0. Now, because the very first kind of questions what we discussed based on Rutherford alpha scattering. Now if an alpha particle of mass m, charge q and velocity v, so mass m, velocity v means its kinetic energy will become half mv square, or we can represent with E also. Then the distance of closest approach, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, that is capital Q into small q by E, where E equal to half mv square. So if you substitute q by 4 pi epsilon naught half mv square, so 2 2s are. So that option B will come. So here what I said, the kinetic energy which is given in the beginning will be converted into potential energy. Like this is the atom, this is the alpha particle sent with some kinetic energy. It will reach some minimum distance where its velocity becomes 0. So that is the way you have to understand. Now the another question. In Rutherford's alpha scattering experiment with thin gold foil, 8100 scintillations per minute are observed at an angle 60 degrees, means number of particles got scattered, that is n of theta, which I said proportional to sine power 4 theta by 2. So at an angle 60 they have given n1 and they are asking n2 at an angle 120. That means n2 by n1 in comparison is sine theta 1 by 2 by sine theta 2 by 2 whole power 4. Theta 1 is 60. So 60 by 2 30. So sine 30 is 1 by 2. Theta 2 is 120. 120 by 2 means 60. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2 whole power 4. 2 cancel. So 1 by root 3 whole power 4 means 1 by 9. So n2 value will become n1 by 9 approximate. Sorry, n1 by 9.
where N1 is 8100 by 9 means it will become 900. So this way, as I said, the comparison based questions can come based on number of the alpha particles got scattered at a particular angle, where number of particles directly proportional to sine power 4 theta, sine power 4 theta by 2, where theta is the scattering angle. Now, one last question based on the alpha particle scattering experiment, where alpha particle with energy, so the kinetic energy they have given, mega electron volt, scattered through 180 degrees by a fixed uranium nucleus. Here they are telling uranium means Z is 92. Distance of closest approach. So R naught is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. That is ZE into 2E by R naught. Sorry, capital E. So that 2ZE square by 4 pi epsilon naught into E, where 2 into Z is 92, E is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, divided by, see here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 power 9, and E value is energy, so 5 into mega means 10 power 6, so electron volt means 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. So if you take this calculation, 1.6 10 power minus 19 cancel, so here 10 power 6 and this 3 will come. Now 2 1.6, that is 3.2. So 3.2 into here 9 by 5 into here minus 19, here plus 3, so 10 power minus 16. Now this is approximately 28.8 by 5 into 10 power minus 16. So it will come approximately 6 into 10 power minus 16. Now it is of the order they are asking. So it is of the order means, just a minute, here it is 92. So we missed one more thing here, that is 92 is also there. So into 92, into 92. But here the thing is 6 into 92 means 552 into 10 power minus 16. But this is in terms of meter. They have given in terms of what? Centimeter. Now in terms of centimeter means it will become 552 into 10 power minus 14 centimeter. But still order means it should not be like 2 digit, 3 digit. It should be 1 digit number. Something 1 digit times 10 power something. That 10 power something we call it as order. That means you can write it as 5.5. So then it will become 10 power minus 12. So what is the order will become? 10 power minus 12. So the answer is C. See here, if you look at it, the calculation is very big, not that simple one. So that's why in the dual nature of radiation in atoms, the calculation takes really a big role, because the most of the questions are formula based, direct formula based, but calculation really makes matter. Now, next question. The total energy of an electron is in an atom. So total energy they have given. Total energy means, what was the equation we have seen? M e power 4 z square or minus by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. This is the total energy. And kinetic energy is plus m e power 4 z square by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. But potential energy is minus m e power 4 z square by 4n square h square epsilon naught square, where if you observe all the three values, this and this same, but this is plus, this is minus. So total energy is negative of kinetic energy. But if you divide this with 2, 2 4s are 8, total energy will come. That means total energy is half of the potential energy. So total energy minus 3.4 means from this kinetic energy is minus of total energy. So minus of minus plus. So kinetic energy will become 3.4. And if you equate these two, the potential energy will become 2 times total energy. That means 2 times minus 3.4, that is 6.8. So kinetic energy plus 3.4 and potential energy minus 6.8. So option B. So this is the relation between total energy, potential energy and kinetic energy of any electron in any orbit. Now 15 electron volt is given to electron in fourth orbit, then find its final energy when it comes out of hydrogen atom. So fourth orbit means fourth orbit energy, how much it will become? Minus 13.6 by 4 square. That is minus 13.6 by 16. Minus, see, 16 eights are how much it will become? 128. So 16 eights are 128 means minus point or minus 0.85 electron volt. This is in electron volt. So this much of energy is there in for an electron in fourth orbit. Now you have given how much? 15 electron volt. So it is having this much of energy. Now you have given this much of energy. Now what is the resultant? That means minus 0.85 plus 15. That means 14.15 electron volt. So this much of energy E with which it will come out. Because here one thing also I will tell you, ionization energy. So what is ionization energy means? If you give an energy sufficient to an electron, every electron is bounded with some energy in an particular orbital. Now if you give equal amount, then it will come out and that equal energy is called ionization energy. But here we are giving more than required, so it will come out, but it will come out with some kinetic energy. That only the required energy plus the given energy. So that is what? The energy. Now the next question, the ratio of kinetic energy to the total energy of an electron in a Bohr orbit of hydrogen atom is the ratio of kinetic energy to the total energy. See, total energy is negative of kinetic energy. So total energy 1 means the kinetic energy is, kinetic energy 1 means total energy minus 1. Because kinetic energy always positive. But here both are equal but opposite sign. So magnitudes are same, 1, 1. But 1 is plus, 1 is minus. But kinetic energy always plus. So that's why kinetic energy, not this one. So kinetic energy plus 1, total energy minus 1. Now comes the question based on the series, spectral series. The ratio of wavelength of the last line of Balmer series and that line of Lyman series. So last line means N2 should be infinity. First you take Balmer series. So Balmer series means N1 is 2. Now 1 by lambda for Balmer series, that is R into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by infinity, that is R by 4. Now N1 equal to 1 for Lyman series. Of course, last line means N to infinity. So this is for Lyman series. R into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by infinity. This is R. Now they are asking ratio of Balmer series to Lyman series. So I will divide the second equation with first equation. So R by 4. R cancel. 4 will come. So this will go up lambda Balmer. This will come down lambda Lyman. So what is the answer is coming? 4. So option C. As I said, the questions can be asked based on any transition from any series. Like this comparison also they can ask you. Now here came hydrogen atom in ground state is excited by a monochromatic radiation. So now you have excited with some energy, radiation. So radiation energy, how do we find? So 12,400 by lambda in angstrom. So you will get energy in electron volt. So there you will get the total energy, how much you are giving. Now that whom you have given the electron in hydrogen atom in ground state. What is the energy of electron in ground state? Minus 13.6 electron volt. Now how much you have given? 12,400 by 975. So like approximately you can take 1000. So 12.4 approximately I am just telling. Now this is equal to some energy. Yes or no? So that means what? This much of energy needed, but you have given only this much. That means it will excite to, it is not sufficient. It is not equal to 13.6. It is less than. That means it will not come out. It will not ionize. So it will just excite to some another one. That let's say that is nth orbit. So what is the nth orbit energy formula? Minus 13.6 by n square. So the energy of electron in ground state plus the given energy, that should be equal to energy of some nth orbit. We don't know which one. From this equation, if you calculate, you will get n value. When you calculate n value, number of spectral lines means what is the formula I have given? If the electron is in nth orbit, the number of spectral lines possible formula is n into n minus 1 by 2. So that is the another one. Now, one more question. If an electron in hydrogen atom jumps from an orbit of level n equal to 3 to an orbit of level n equal to 2, emitted radiation has a frequency. So, frequency they are asking. First you find 1 by lambda. 1 by lambda is r into 1 by n2 square. Sorry, n1 square. That is 2 square minus n3 square. That is n2 square, 3 square. Now this is wavelength. Now frequency V equal to f lambda. Now here photon means light. So speed of light c equal to f lambda. Now f equal to c by lambda, nothing but c into 1 by lambda. That means if you multiply 1 by lambda, rc into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So here if you take the LCM, then you will get the answer. So f equal to rc into here 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square. So 5 rc by 36. So this way they can ask question based on frequency also. Frequency they can ask, wavelength they can ask, or energy of photon they can ask. Now another question here, electron in hydrogen atom first jumps from third excited state to second excited state. They are not telling third state, third excited state. So third excited state means fourth orbital. To second excited means third orbital. And then from second excited, next to it is second excited means 3 to, it is jumped from first excited means 2. The ratio of the wavelengths. So in first case, if you take 1 by lambda 1 equal to r into 1 by 3 square minus 1 by 4 square. And in second case, 1 by lambda 2 equal to r into 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square. So if you take the ratio, then you will get lambda 1 is to lambda 2. So this way, the comparison based question usually they will ask based on this. Now I also said you like what is the radius, velocity, energy, they can also ask based on that. Here beryllium 3 place they are asking. Whose radius? It has same orbital radius as that of the ground state of hydrogen. So which state? Let's take nth orbit of beryllium 3 place. What is the general formula of nth orbital? 0.53 angstrom into z square by n square. Sorry, n square by z. Because Rn formula is what? N square h square epsilon naught by pi me square z. So here first for beryllium. For beryllium, let's take R1, that is 0.53 angstroms into N is we don't know, Z is beryllium means 4. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium. Now that is same as R to another radius, that is ground state of hydrogen. Ground state means N equal to 1. Hydrogen atom means Z equal to 1. So what it will become? 0.53 angstroms. So these two both are equal. So if you equate 0.53, 0.53 will get cancelled. So N square by 4 equal to 1. So N square equal to 4. Then N equal to 2. So like this, between two different atoms also, they may compare the values. They can give questions based on that also. Now here, another question, if an electron in a hydrogen atom jumps from third orbit to the second orbit, then it emits a photon of wavelength lambda. When it jumps from fourth orbit to third orbit, then the corresponding wavelength. Again, same thing. First 1 by lambda is for r into jumped from third to second. That means 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square. Now we have to find the lambda for another transition, that is 4 to 3. That means 1 by 3 square minus 1 by 4 square. Now again comparison, you divide both the equations. Then lambda dash you will get in terms of lambda. That is the answer. So comparison means what is the first transition, make an equation for that. What is the second transition, make another equation. You multiply them or you divide them, you manipulate them. You use some mathematics so that you can get the relation between both the wavelengths. So that kind of questions they can ask. Now here, consider third orbit of helium using the speed of electron in this order will be. So speed of electron means already I gave you C by 137, Z by N. So third orbit means N equal to 3 and helium means Z equal to 2. So just substitute the values. Then you will get the answer. Now, the following diagram indicates the energy levels of a certain atom. When the system moves from 4E to E, so 4E to E, then the photon wavelength is lambda 1. That means 4E minus E equal to hc by lambda 1, energy of the photon. Now they are asking wavelength of photon produced during its transition from 7E by 3 to E. Now from here to here they are asking. That means 7E by 3 minus E equal to, let's say, hc by lambda 2. Now you have to find a lambda 1 by lambda 2 ratio. Now this equation will become 3E equal to hc by lambda 1. This equation will become 4E by 3 equal to hc by lambda 2. Now from here E equal to hc by 3 lambda 1. Now this value you substitute here. That is 4 by 3 into E is hc by 3 lambda 1 equal to hc by lambda 2. So hc cancel. So 4 by 9 equal to lambda 1 by lambda 2. So this way again the comparison based, but they have given their own energy values, not like hydrogen atom or something. One unknown atom they have given. Now let's take one last and final question. Here nu1 is the frequency of the series limit of Lyman series. So series limit means what you have to take, nu1 equal to, we will take C by lambda equal to C into lambda means 1 by lambda means R into series limit means N1 is for Lyman series 1. Series limit means N2 is infinity. So equal to RC. This is nu1. Now nu2 is the frequency of the first line of Lyman series. That means first line means N1 is 1 only, but N2 is 2. So that means it will come how much? 1 minus 1 by 4 means 3 by 4. Now, the next thing what they have given is nu3 is frequency of series limit of Balmer series. Now, Balmer series means that is N1 is 2, series limit means N2 is infinity. Now, this became RC by 4. Now, this is RC, this is 3RC by 4. Now, this is RC by 4. If you take nu3 plus nu2, nu1 you will get. Just add here RC by 4, Here 3RC by 4. If you add both of them, you will get RC. That means nu2 plus nu3 equal to nu1. That is what the relation. So it's like a little bit manipulated based, mathematical based, not like just numerical values. So this is how the different type of questions they can ask based on the Bohr atomic model and Rutherford alpha scattering model. So please try to remember each and every equation and try to solve the questions. So calculation based or little manipulation based, anything they can ask. But the question will be very clear, simple, formula based and little understanding based. So please try to understand the question and then just do it carefully. So thank you all of you. We'll continue in the coming class with new